everybody. We are back. FYC Film Review and your host, Gagne. With me, as always, my partner in crime.
What's up, buddy? Ronaldo. How's it going, everyone?
Welcome back, everybody. Before we get rolling on this week's episode, which is pretty epic if you haven't figured it out from the background, please like, subscribe, check out some other videos, and let us know what you think. But now, without further ado, we're going to get into the Justice League. The Snyder Cut. This is our first foray into a new movie-ish.
It's the newest movie we've done, and it is a 4-hour epic adventure. It is 4 hours, and I gotta tell you, man, it felt at parts like 4 hours. What time did you start it at?
I started about 4 o'clock in the morning. A couple minutes after 4. Made that first pot of coffee and wanted to watch it before work. So that's how excited I was for this. It didn't feel like 4 hours to me. I mean, obviously it's 4 hours. Like there's no getting around that. That's a long period of time to be sitting.
7 parts.
Yeah,
4 hours, 7 parts.
It was not supposed to be one movie. You know, he had planned out a 2-movie thing, and he probably would have put more in, but I think I can kind of tell where the films would have been 2 different movies and maybe 2.5 hour movies. So it would have been even longer.
Is this the longest movie you've ever seen?
I think so. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. It beats Titanic. So yeah, it's 4 hours, man. I started it around 10 o'clock, and with breaks and everything, I didn't get done till about 3 in the morning. So I'm exhausted. This was just last night. So I'm exhausted.
That is some dedication. I have to say, I was absolutely suffering from my 4 a.m. wake up call for this last night as well. So I was asleep a little early. I think I fell asleep before you even started the movie.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, good for you, man. So just to give everybody a little bit of background in this, so this Justice League Snyder Cut. It came out because in 2017, Zach Snyder, the director, came out with Justice League. Unfortunately, he didn't finish the movie due to personal tragedy. So another director came in by the name of Joss Whedon, am I correct? Who took over the project. And you could tell that movie was basically made by 2 directors, 2 different visions, and it just didn't work well.
Yeah, that's the thing, is he was having some creative control issues with WB and DC when he was making the film in general. And then, like you mentioned, family tragedy struck. He stepped away. Warner's wasn't willing to put that on hold, and then they brought in Joss, and he did what he wanted with the movie and completely cut it and made it his own, including some reshoots, which is how we got the Superman hair lip, awful digital scene that had no real relevance, I felt like, in that movie, and wasn't necessary. It was a travesty, honestly. Like, just to be flat out honest, I hated it. I was bored. I watched it once in theaters and wanted to give it another shot. And so I bought it on digital and I watched it and I was like, I'm never going to watch this again. I wish I could sell this DVD, and I don't even have it. It was not good. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And you need the 4 hours.
I don't know if you need the 4 hours, but a lot of those gaps from the 2017 movie were filled, and Zack Snyder did it really well, to the point where after the 4 hours were done, I got it. I actually understood every aspect of the movie, every backstory, why the mother boxes were there, what they did, how Superman came back to life. He explained it so well. So I got to give that to Zack Snyder. This movie is a much better movie than the 2017 because it's his vision, but he has explained it. He explained it so well. It reminded me of, I don't know if you ever watched Lost at the ending, how a lot of things didn't get explained. I feel like all this should have been lost. Everything was explained in this movie, and it was good. It was really good. I enjoyed that part.
These characters were alive. They weren't on an island. It was not purgatory.
It was not purgatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. Look, it's a big task to take on 6 characters. You've already introduced 3 of them. Within the first 2 films that he made in Man of Steel and BVS, Batman versus Superman, which got dogged a lot, but I still personally love.
I liked it. I got goosebumps in Batman versus Superman. So.
And I'm glad you did. I know there's that Martha line.
Save Martha!
Whatever. I enjoyed the films to date, and when you start, there was that little twinkle of like, oh my God, the Justice League is coming. That's what they're doing next. And so they showed these clips of, footage that of the Flash and footage of Aquaman and
Right.
Cyborg, but not an actual introduction of seeing the characters. You try to do it all in one movie, it's hard regardless. And I like that they broke it up. I like that he took the time to kind of tell, a 40-minute or so story and then break it into another chapter.
Yeah, I like that. I like that he broke it up into parts, 7 parts, right? It was 7 parts, part one, part two. I mean, when the part one thing showed up on the screen, I was like, oh, what is this? What am I
Hmm.
in for?
Yeah.
So it worked. It worked really well. I like that. And, I'm going to go back to 2017 Justice League as well. I did not like Cyborg. I did not like the Flash. I thought their
Hmm.
characters were very useless. And in fact, they were useless in that movie. What Zack Snyder did to them in this movie made me want to see a Cyborg movie, a
Hmm.
standalone movie. It made me want to see a Flash movie. He does it so well. He gave these characters purpose, whereas the other one didn't really have a purpose. It was just there to form a team, but each one here had a purpose and they served it really well. It wasn't just Superman coming in to save the day. I like that. He gives each character purpose. And that's a good director.
Yeah, there's so much more heart involved. And obviously in a superhero movie, it's not as exciting to have Ma Kent scenes and, Lois Lane scenes where they're crying and commiserating over Superman being gone. But you need some of that. And to feel that heart, you need to understand what Barry Allen in the Flash's motivation is, and what kind of person he is. And
Right.
because if you don't know that stuff, you're relying too heavily on, like, oh, okay, well, the nerds are going to catch everybody else up. They know what the Flash is, and so they can explain to people who this guy is and why he's getting involved.
Right.
How much stuff did you like remember from the first movie? Have you watched it recently, or like did you see a lot of the same stuff that you remember?
Okay, so I was actually trying to compare it, but I got lost in the movie. I got lost in the movie just thinking, wow, this is such a better movie. The first thing that I remember was the fighting scene with Wonder Woman. And this scene in this Zack Snyder's Justice League was so intense. And it was the first time for me thinking, wow, Wonder Woman is pretty badass in this. Just the way she saved that group of girls and
Sure.
on the field trip, and just the way her movements when she shielded those bullets with her fist. I was like, okay, here we go. This is great. I just don't remember that in the first one.
It was very chopped down,
Okay.
because different rating. This is R, and that was PG-13, and there was
Yeah.
very, very much that was a very edited scene. They cut out any of the language, the intensity of holding children hostage. They really like kind of distanced themselves from it, and it felt, like you said, a lot more intense.
One of the scenes that really gave me goosebump was when they're around the mother box and they kind of figured out, hey, this thing can bring people life, can bring matter back to life. And they were doing the analogy about the house on fire and the smoke. And then Barry Allen, the Flash, goes, well, is anybody going to say what I'm thinking, or something like that? And then you hear it's the Superman theme and you see the Superman hologram with his cape and his, I just got goosebumps
Yeah.
in that scene. That was such a great scene.
You needed more time with them together, right? I felt like in the Joss version, whatever we're calling this, it's just
Justice League. I
the
think heard people
Justice
calling.
League. I
I heard
love
people are
it.
calling it Justice League.
Yes, I love it. It it was lacking that, that like real come together moment, the time spent where they can develop a little bit as a team, and getting that scene in there is perfect. I don't remember that in the first one. I don't remember that, showing. I remember maybe there was a Bruce Wayne looking at Superman on a screen, but not
Yeah,
like the team having a conversation about it, really spitballing, like, how are we going to do this? Like,
right.
should we be doing this?
Yep.
Um,
Should
it
we be doing this? Exactly. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you expand on so much more in the universe. You get my homeboy Darkseid, great bad guy, ultimately the Thanos of DC,
Right.
the world killer. You get some more bad guys. You get, a beefed up Steppenwolf, looks a little bit better. I thought CGI looked a lot better this go around with him as a bad guy. Um,
Kind of reminded me of like a super shredder.
Good call. Yes, totally. Um, yeah, some of the stuff that even the stuff that I think was familiar, it was all the best parts, honestly. It's the, Bruce Wayne going to recruit Barry Allen, and, and the stop, I'm in, like, I need friends, like, just
Yeah.
that stuff, you're like, wow, Zach had already done that. Like that wasn't Joss. You're realizing how different he just mushed stuff together. I mean, Gone is the family that lives in the
In the dome, and that,
Chernobyl
yeah.
town,
Yeah, that was
that's
awful.
abandoned, where
Yeah,
Barry's trying to race him out on a truck, and
right.
you didn't need any of that. I mean, God, we got black suit Superman. Sorry, everyone, if you haven't figured it out and read the warning. There's spoilers here. Like we're going to talk about stuff in this movie. There's
Yeah.
a lot, and they give you a lot, including new characters that weren't even in the original one. I was blown away.
Yeah.
I was emotional. I was engaged. Even for a 4-hour movie, like you said, you get so sucked into it. Even with a 4:3 aspect ratio, the black bars on the side of it, I just wasn't distracted by it. I was
Yeah.
in the movie.
It bugged me at first, just because I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I feel like I should just get my old TV back if I'm gonna watch something like that. But after about 20, 30 minutes, I got used to it. The ratio,
Sure.
the aspect ratio of the movie. One thing I really liked about this movie was Batman in the old 2017 Justice League. Batman was made to look like a fool. He
Mm.
was just didn't really serve a purpose. He was just there. He gathered the team and that was it. But in this one, you really saw how smart he is, what his vision was for this whole
Mm-hmm.
thing, for putting the whole team together. And I like that. I really like that. And another person who was really involved in this, who we need to give a shout out to, was Alfred. Alfred was in this a
Yes.
lot. And I like that. I like seeing Alfred be a part of this team, kind of helping them out.
And Jeremy Irons. I mean, he's
Yeah,
just
he's good.
fantastic. I mean, to get this left me wanting more. He expanded the universe now to a point where I feel like they almost have to give him just one more shot, like one more movie with these characters. We're getting a Flash movie. You wanted that, you said that, like we're getting that movie. So how do you make that tie into what could be coming down the line for them?
I don't know, but like I said, I want a cyborg movie. I want a cyborg movie. That character, I didn't realize how great that character was until this movie. Because I'm gonna be honest. I don't read the comics. I love the movies. I like the
Mhm.
superheroes, but I don't. I'm not a comic book fan. I like the superheroes. I like the movies, and growing up, I love them a lot. So Cyborg was somebody who I didn't really know much about. So watching 2017, I was like, character doesn't really do much. But in this movie, he almost became my favorite character just because of what he went through and his backstory. And I want to see a cyborg movie, a standalone movie. He's a great character. Everything he went through with his dad, with his mom, and him just being, created by his dad. So it was great. Really good stuff.
The tape, the tape that his dad recorded for him that he destroys and then comes back to,
Yeah.
his dad, dying, sacrificing to put a tracker on the mother
That's right.
box. I mean,
Yep.
there's just so many nuances that were just completely wiped away. Him losing his mom in the accident. You don't
Right.
even know that. Like, it's just so like, oh, he got in an accident and now he's cyborg. And you're like, what? And the mother box is somehow involved. You're
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. There's just no connection to it at all. Where now you're like, oh my God, this guy literally is like a huge part of this movie and
Yeah.
had all wiped away. And man, I'm so thrilled that they got to come back to this and wrap it up the way it was supposed to be wrapped up. If this is going to be it, if they're not going
Yeah,
to be
I
able
don't know. I don't know. I keep hearing that there's not going to be any more, but you
yeah.
never know. Look what the fans did. The fans wanted the Snyder cut. There was a Snyder cut, and Snyder said, "Hey, it's out there. I'm going to give it to you guys." So who knows? Maybe if the fans say, want something else, maybe they'll get it. I don't know.
Let's hope so.
I hope so. I really do. One of the things that I didn't fully like this go around was the CGI, especially in the Amazonian fight with Steppenwolf.
Mhm.
I thought the CGI looked very choppy to me in that scene. So it kind of took me out of it. Other than that, it was okay. That was the only CGI I thought it was a little choppy for me. But
Okay, I could see
yeah,
that. Yeah, I feel like I start to notice those things, like big grand scale scenes where you've got people on horses and
right.
things flying through the air. Like some of that stuff, if you watch closely, is very choppy. It's like watching
Yeah.
Titanic. Obviously 20-year difference, but
Hey, Titanic is good, man. Leave it
sure.
alone.
But as it pans back and you see the boat, you're like, that person isn't a person.
Okay,
I
whatever.
I don't know that I have a major gripe for this movie. I don't, and look, I'm a DC fan. I grew up Superman, Batman first. Like those were my superheroes. Way before I got into Marvel, before I started reading those comics, I was all about Superman and Batman. And so obviously, you know, the rest of the Justice League play into those stories all the time. I'm familiar. I'm more familiar. I'm also a Zack Snyder giant fan. Like he's my top 10, he's in my top 10 directors of all time.
Interesting.
I love his films. I've loved him since, you know, Dawn of the Dead? Dawn of the Dead, right? The mall one.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
And ever since then, you know, I've been waiting and waiting for his films to come out, and I enjoy them. And I'm not somebody who's nags at his style. I like his style, and I think he's
Okay.
an awesome dude. And I just this was everything I could have hoped for.
Okay, good. That's great. I'm not going to go out there and say that Zack Snyder is one of my favorite directors. What I do like about him, though, is that he gives his characters purpose. He really takes time, gets to know his characters, gets to know what the characters are about, and really fleshes out their story. I like that. I think that he really listens, and he listens to his fans as well. So I like that about him. That really it impresses me that he can do that with his characters. So I do hope there's another one. I would like to see another one. I don't want it to be 4 hours though. I don't. I don't want it to be 4 hours. But
Sure.
I appreciate what he did in those 4 hours, being able to tell the story, explain every little thing to the point where it was understood why this was happening, how we got here, and why all this, and how everything ties out. I appreciated that. It really worked.
What a He did a fantastic job keeping this under wraps too. I mean, to you know, be doing a project ultimately that was already done. You know, most of the principal photography was already shot. He just put it back in and then did the digital effects.
Yeah.
They added some stuff that I definitely don't think they had before. I mean, characters that like the Martian Manhunter, tying that back into the character who we first see in Superman. I just
General. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I love that actor Harry Lennox. It's just it's got me excited for what could be, even if Zach doesn't come back, even if they, you know, Ben's probably not coming back as Batman, you know, like maybe we can get some semblance of this story continuing. Like Wonder Woman is still a thing, Aquaman, Flash still a thing. Like you said, maybe they make a cyborg movie. Like he got some great performances out of these actors and for a superhero movie, and I appreciate that. And I hope that even if he doesn't get to do another Justice League, maybe he's a creative director for DC movies moving forward, where, you know, he can kind of like, these are my characters and I'm going to keep this vision rolling, even if it's with other directors.
Sure. Yeah. I'd like for Henry or Cavill to remain as Superman. He is
Yes.
amazing as Superman. He is what Superman should be. I love him as Superman. And just everything about him, the way he carries himself as Superman, his little his facial expressions, just the way he smiles. He's kind of, he means well. He's complicated, but he means well. I can't say enough about that guy. Great Superman, probably the best Superman that I've seen in film.
Yeah, I can't argue with it, as much as, you know, I have a love for Christopher Reeve because he was my, you know, childhood Superman, and I'm
Sure.
named after him. My mom actually gave me the name Christopher because of
that's
him.
that's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah,
Even I didn't know that.
fun fact.
Okay. Fun
Um,
fact.
I will always have a love for him as Superman, but yeah, I can't argue. I mean, Henry Cavill is amazing. Like I just hope they want to give him another shot.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how long, how much, how much film he actually filmed, or how much
Mhm.
of the movie he actually filmed. Because if he was able to splice together 4 hours, there's got to be like several more hours that he put together. And so when Joe's came in and edited, how much did you really edit out of that movie? There had
Sure.
to have been so much.
Oh yeah. I mean, and like I said, that's where they were running into problems, is like they were just pushing to have it shorter and shorter. You know, you got to make this 2 hours. That's what a movie is.
Yeah.
And Zach didn't want it. Like, again, he's like, this is not going to make sense. Like, you have to be able to tell the story of these characters. You need certain things in. And watching this, like, obviously it's 4 hours, but I can't think of much that I would say, oh, you didn't need that. Oh, you know, all of it tied in, all of it made sense. You know, it was one long story that uh, I think you need. I just don't know how to put it. You
Yeah.
have to have it.
Okay. The singing, and the Aquaman town.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. That did feel a little weird. It's so early in the movie that I forgot
Yeah.
actually.
It felt like I was watching Frozen or something. Like Elsa was gonna come out.
Uh,
All right, let's talk about the Joker scene. Let's dig into the Joker scene.
okay.
Um, Great scene. It did make me a little mad because it was just a dream.
But is it?
Right. But is it, right? I get that. I understand. Um, it was such a great scene. And for everybody who wants to hear Batman throw down an F bomb, go watch that scene because it is pretty intense.
That scene I think was one of those that I'm alluding to, like I don't think that he shot that initially. Like that is the ultimate, like I'm setting you guys up. I could come back and do this. You could do
Yeah.
what you want, but this, you now have a Flash movie that's coming out that's literally about Flash changing the events of the future and changing the events of, the past as well, that creates a new future.
Yeah.
So you could end up with this could be it. Like Superman could become a bad guy. They have comic book stories where this actually happens. There's ways to connect this. And it's there. That scene's fantastic. I'm glad they brought Jared Leto back. I did, however, dislike the line about the reach around. It just didn't work. It was like a joke that didn't land. And
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, really? Like, and maybe at that point I was like, my coffee's running low and I'm, I know this is the end of the movie. It just didn't feel right for that scene. Although you're right, the bat F bomb was amazing.
Yeah, Batman F bomb. Yeah, I remember the reach around scene. It's probably about 2:30 in the morning, so I just kind of let it go. I was like, okay, all right, it's nearing the end, but it was a good scene, man. I do hope they do something with that. The really liked when they brought up Robin Boy Wonder, that little comment, and
Mhm.
how pissed Batman got. And then how Batman kind of threw a jab at him about Harley Quinn dying in his arms. It's really good stuff in there. Really, really good stuff. Intense stuff. Really dark stuff too.
Sure.
That you probably wouldn't see in Marvel. Um, Going back to Superman, as you talked about, he becomes bad if that's where they want to go. Did you catch the scene when he's holding a dead corpse that's just burned and just has a jacket? I took that was Lois Lane, and then you got Darkseid putting his hand on his shoulder, kind of to like, hey, it's gonna be okay. Did you see that?
Ooh. Oh, okay. I didn't catch who I thought that I did.
That's what I thought
Yeah,
who it
that's
was.
actually not bad. That's not
Yeah,
bad. And that's the catalyst in the story of Injustice is the video game like story that they made, this story where Superman becomes bad and it's because Lois dies.
right.
Batman allows her to die. And in BVS, when Batman has the dream and he sees Flash and he's like, tells him Lois is the key. Like this is what the whole setup is like Lois is the key, but Lois is the key in the future. Like you have to save Lois because if not, Superman's going to flip out and you're going to have a bigger problem.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
God, if they could just get there. I want it. I want it so bad. I mean, look at the reformed Justice League in that epilogue, having Deathstroke and having, Flash and Cyborg still around.
Cyborg, and then who?
The
What's
Joker,
Aquaman's? What was her name? Murda or
Mara.
Mara? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just, like
Yeah.
there's so much potential,
And the
but
Joker, did the Joker just join the Justice League? What did he join? Did he join that, just make a truce with Batman? What's going on there?
they got to stop Darkseid. They got to stop Superman. They're trying to save the world, but they're the last ones left. Basically, that's the
Yeah.
thought process behind it. So, um, biggest surprise in the movie for you?
I would probably have to say I'm going to go back to it and just Cyborg, his backstory, and Barry Allen saving the world by turning back time. I feel like this Cher song should be in there. If I could turn back time.
Yeah, that scene underrated. I don't know, I got a little choked up there. Like there's something like, him, the inner dialogue he has, like I told myself I can't do this, you got to break the rules here, like,
Yeah.
and just seeing him more involved. I love it. I'm excited for a Flash movie. I like Ezra Miller a lot, and I think he's going to be, a good Flash.
Yeah. What about you? Biggest surprise?
Probably the Martian Manhunter being the general. I assumed at some point that they were going to try to sneak in the Martian Manhunter, and
Okay.
I forget, that he's his backstory is that he's on Earth, and this whole time, and he just has been hiding as a human. So I loved that it was him.
Um, let's rate. Let's rate.
Let's
Let's
rate
do
it.
it. I
It's
feel like
not.
I need a cigarette, man. I don't even smoke, but after watching 4 hours, I feel like I need to smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, I will be impressed if I hear, most people this weekend, finishing it because it is 4 hours. It's a commitment. Uh,
Absolutely.
this isn't going to be a big surprise. I'm going to give it a straight 5 mother boxes. 5 mother boxes.
Would you call me a mother box?
How dare you talk about my
How
mother?
dare you talk about my mother box? Yeah. Okay. You went 5. 5 mother boxes.
It was perfect. I wanted to knock it down for the Joker line, but honestly, at that point, I just didn't care. I was so happy. I was
Okay.
so in awe of what had happened that didn't care.
Wow. All right. Good. 5. Hey, I can't give it a 5 and I can't give it a 4. I enjoyed the movie. It does fill in all the gaps. I'm gonna go with 3.5 mother boxes for me. I really like BVS. That's probably my favorite out of all these 3. Really like BVS. But this movie it's a good movie. It's a good, solid DC movie, and I highly recommend it. If you were disappointed with the 2017 version, you will not be disappointed with this one. So for me, 3.5 mother boxes. Solid movie.
Solid. I would highly recommend, if you haven't watched Man of Steel, watch Batman vs Superman, then watch this. It's a big commitment.
Which is what we did, right? We
we
did
this
that.
week.
Yeah.
And it all flows. I mean, it's a big commitment to ask someone to do that, and you can watch this movie on its own, but I think it helps. It helps build to this monumental, achievement for Zack Snyder. So, Mr. Snyder, thank you. I know you watch our show. I know you're a big fan. I just want to thank you for making this, because the little boy in me with my cape on, just loved it.
Agreed. So Zack Snyder, great job. Thank you for giving this to us. Thank you. I'm sure a lot of fans are super appreciative of you right now. It was a great movie. 4 hours. It needed to be 4 hours to tell the whole story. I understood that. Just going forward, just don't make them 4 hours, please. Don't.
Well, I think that's all we've got on the Snyder Cut Justice League. Justice League Snyder Cut. I've heard it many different ways, but the 4-hour version of Justice League that you can watch now. Without further ado, let's give you a little hint at what's to come on FYC Film Review.
So we are going to get back in our time capsule, but we're not going to go to the 80s. We're going to go back to the early 90s, and we are going to be reviewing next week The Mighty Ducks, the original Mighty Ducks, in preparation for the new show that Disney Plus is coming out with The Mighty Ducks. So we're coming for you, Emilio. We like you, Emilio. So get ready. Quack, quack, quack.
Yes, I have not watched this movie in a very long time, so this will be interesting, to say the least.
It's going to be good, I think.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We hope you enjoyed the show. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Let us know what you thought of the Snyder Cut. Tell Ronaldo how amazing this movie is. Tell him he's going to watch it again, all 4 hours in one sitting.
I liked it, guys. Don't. I'll probably watch it again. I liked it. Relax.
Good man. I'm defending this to my death. So we appreciate it. Check us next time. Mighty Ducks is coming. For FYC Film Review, I've been Gagne.
Ronaldo.
We'll catch you next time, guys.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.